What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I haven't done this before, but my business partner from Coffee Uplifts People, Tony Forte, is here. How you doing, Tony?
What's up, Ange? How you doing?
I see you bought us some Coffee Uplifts People.
Just in case, can never be certain.
But this was important to me. Now, one thing that I've been told, because I know, I do the show Way Up with Angela Yee, and outside of this, I also am an entrepreneur. And one of the things that we did during the pandemic, when people thought it was the craziest time to do this, we started a coffee brand called Coffee Uplifts People. And people always ask me, how did you get into coffee? What made you even do that? And it's a funny story about both of us because we both didn't grow up as coffee drinkers.
At all. I actually told many times, I didn't drink coffee pretty much prior to this. I come from a fashion footwear background. My family's Caribbean. So I drank tea a lot, like all Caribbeans do, shout out to East Flatbush. But, I didn't really embrace coffee like that. And then we came about it quite innocently. We had another business. It was a cold pressed juices. A lot of long nights with that.
A lot of long nights and a lot of money, but it's a whole nother documentary.
However, it actually did get some very good traction going because of COVID, as many of our drinks had ginger in it. And so we had a spike during that time due to COVID, which means we had to find more places to store our product, how to ship our product, because we outgrew that while we were doing it before. And that's what led us to the coffee space. And so that was an interesting opportunity to learn, wow, coffee is the second most consumed, second largest commodity in the world.
Yeah, in the world,
the world, the second behind oil. And we know what people do over oil, right? So,
yeah, we're watching it right now.
Hey, that part. So it was getting a chance to learn it more. It really, really spoke to us as far as, how do we make some true impact with something that people have every single day? The
other thought was with coffee, I had never realized the health benefits that coffee has.
Yeah.
And, now I'm always posting about it.
That's your thing. That's your thing.
But the truth is that coffee, because I am always trying to think of, okay, what's beneficial for us at the same time? We need that balance in life. I know every now and then I might have some fried chicken, but I try to balance.
It's all good.
It's part of life, right? And so coffee, not only does it taste amazing, but it also does have a lot of health benefits when you are consuming it the right way. I mean, they talk about Parkinson's, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, heart health, all of those things, how coffee can affect that in a positive way, depending on either drinking it black, because that's the best way you can drink coffee. But then also, even for me, making sure that if I add a little something, I'm not doing anything too heavy, too sugary, that's going to balance out the health benefits.
Exactly. And when we came into it, let's be clear. What the world doesn't need is just another coffee brand. You don't need another coffee brand. You don't need another coffee shop. Lord knows there's about 8 or 9 of them on a block in New York, right?
Oh, my gosh. Tell me about it. I'm glad you said that, because I do want to say, when we first opened the shop, this was an issue we had. I don't think we've ever really spoken on this.
I talk on it.
But there was another shop that was mad that we opened. It was, down the block or whatever. And literally, when we first opened, they had people come to our shop. And it was all in a row, bad reviews, this shop is terrible, but there's another coffee shop down the block that's amazing. It was very evident.
As if entrepreneurship isn't hard enough.
Right.
You got to get from those. And it's listen.
They were this is stale. We didn't even sell whatever product they said. They said we had stale bagels or stale. I was we don't even have that. We were brand new. We just opened.
Exactly.
And that was a really tough thing to navigate, because what can you do? But I think it was so obvious when you look at it, because reviews do matter a lot.
100%.
Right? I'll look at something and be like, oh, they only got 2 stars. I don't want to go there. But you don't know why.
And it takes so many great reviews to make up for one bad review. And then also, you can't even sling mud back. Yo, you hit me, you famous. I shoot you, I'm brainless. It's one of those kind of things. So the reality is, when we came into it, we had to think about it from a real way. How do we really make impact, both as a brand and as a shop? Because a lot of times people think that, oh, you got a coffee cafe. No, Angela is part of a coffee brand. We have 8 different channels of business. We have a cafe in Brooklyn and a cafe in Harlem. We have a bar within our cafe in Brooklyn that we just opened up last year. We're in grocery. We're in Whole Foods in the regional channel of Northeast. We are in and opening up in more groceries soon.
Yeah,
soon to
just
come.
had that call up. Period.
Soon
Can't wait to
come.
announce.
You know, wait to come. We supply restaurants, now 34 restaurants across the country. We supply enterprise partners, whether it's Goldman Sachs or the Atlanta Hawks or just different things like that. We supply them with the coffee, which is honestly pure greens across the country, across all of their stores
with the cold brew.
With their cold brew. So we catering, and so there's all these different channels that come from the coffee. We've traveled out to the farms. So it's like, it's not a slap your name on, this isn't private label. This isn't white label. You know, this is literally, we are getting our hands in the dirt, so to speak. So we import from Ethiopia, Peru, Indonesia, Mexico. A lot of those relationships we have directly with the farmers.
And that was a process to get there too. I
100%.
want people listening to know that as you're growing your business, you're going to figure out ways to make sure that you have better margins as you go along. And that's going to be something that is a process. Sometimes where you start is not going to be where you finish. And so
say that part again, Ange.
Yeah, where you start is not going to be where you finish, because figuring out importing directly from the farmers, but also roasting the beans ourselves in Brooklyn.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, and I'm so glad you mentioned it, because a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners want to be on year 5 in month 1. And the reality is, get your proof of concept, which is why it's called that. Gather proof of your concept and then build out from there. So we did that, and we weren't originally roasting our bean. We weren't. It was originally our first bean. I look at our original can over there in the corner.
Yeah, I still have the original.
You know,
cans.
and speaking of which, we evolved from a can to a bag.
Yeah,
you know, that just speaks to the evolution.
It was hard to get cans during the pandemic. It was damn near impossible, and the price went up so much.
Yeah, so it's like we've evolved in this process. So now it's like, yeah, we bag our own product. Yeah, we roast our own product. Yeah, we have direct relationships with many of our farmers. We bring it in and we roast it right there in Brooklyn. So we're founded in Brooklyn, operated in Brooklyn, roasted in Brooklyn. And now we take that and we use that to supply now, like I said, 34 different restaurants across the country. As far as Atlanta, Orlando, as far west as Oakland, we go to your favorite stomping grounds in Detroit, you know, so we're all over the space with it. And that's honestly where we want to grow to. How are we able to supply more of this bean and use coffee to uplift people? And that's a triple entendre. Uplift people functionally in the caffeine, uplift people attitude-wise, like, yo, be lively and have an energy about yourself with coffee. But then also functionally, you look at it beyond that to how are you uplifting people, empowering them economically. You know, coffee comes from regions of people of color around the world.
A lot of women.
Over 70% of the workforce and the production are women. That needs to be an equitable space where we are now changing what that looks like in the second largest commodity in the world. You feel me?
Yeah, no, I do. Because it's all been an education process, and we've been deep in it. You know, we've done Essence Festival. We've been out and about with our coffee, but we are, like you said, trying to grow in other areas as well. Because honestly, and I want you to talk about this just because we're like pulling the curtain back on what it's like to run a business and a brick and mortar business at that. Yeah. Because that's not easy. When we found this space, we knew we wanted to have something that was on the corner, which we did find. And really, that alone is not what will grow our business. And to put it out there, we are completely self-funded. And so
completely self-funded.
When I tell you we are deep financially
pockets thin right
into this, but I think part of entrepreneurship is, are you willing to put your all into something to make it successful? Yeah. And that's what we're on the path to do that. And like you said, we're not on, people want to start like, oh, we're making money, we're turning a profit. But for us to get there, we had to realize it's not just the shop. There's other channels that have to come into play to supplement what's happening. I think the shop is great for us because of the branding that we have and the impact that we have in the community. We do a ton of events there.
Yes.
And I want to say part of why I wanted to open this, previously I had a juice bar, and I love the idea of living in the community, being from there, but also having a space where people can convene, where they can work. And while our coffee shop is a great place for people to work, I think sometimes people may look at it like, oh, they must be making a ton of money. It's always, people in there. But if you're having a cup of coffee and you're in there doing Zooms for 4 hours,
exactly,
it's not like we're making a ton of money.
And you want to cater to that audience that is there to
we
do work.
We want you to come
and
work. But I don't want people from the outside looking in to think, oh, they killing it.
Exactly. You got to do a lot. You got to do a lot of those cups of coffee, in order to make any kind of profit. And so it is a margins game. It is also an experience game. Like, what is the experience that you're conveying? And then always analyzing the business. You said earlier where it's like, hey, what is it like? Are you willing to do what it takes for entrepreneurship? You have to constantly reshape, come back to the original plan and think about, hey, is this going to be the path? Is this going to be the path? And then if it's not, it's okay. I think a lot of times we shame entrepreneurs that fail, or we put all this pressure to be an entrepreneur. This life isn't for everyone.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to know when to walk away. I was talking about that today, how with the juice bar that I had I was like, man, during the pandemic, I should have just, looking back, I really wanted it to work because I loved the benefit that it brought to the community, but it just financially was not working the way that it was, and I didn't have the right partnership, because I think partnerships are important. Who was it? Somebody just the other day was talking about building business and how you should always build business with a partner. I can't remember who said it.
In Silicon Valley, they damn near require it. They require it so much with so many other, a lot in the tech space, because they understand how hard it is for that. And all partnerships
are hard too.
Partnerships are hard. Partnerships are hard. Listen, you and I have had our tough days, but knowing how to get past those tough days.
We get in a boxing ring and we're like, okay, and I've dropped Tony so many times.
Facts. But then it comes back to them numbers and we're right back at it.
But it is, and I think another thing that's really important that I learned early on was operating agreements. And I want to stress that to any entrepreneur out there. If you're looking to start a partnership with somebody, your partner cannot do the same thing that you do. You also have to know what's missing. I think for us, we knew we have to get great accounting. That was one of the main things. And I want to tell anybody, like, when you get behind on that, it's so hard to play catch up. And there's so many things that can happen that can kind of, I've seen people's businesses get crippled because of accounting not being right and bills not being paid and invoices not getting taken care of. And so that was one thing we had to outsource, but it was an important thing for us with all these different channels.
Incredibly important. And I don't want to sit here as the brand that's more established than it was on day one and act like, because there's entrepreneurs listening that they want to be able to do that. They just know it's like, yo, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, and I'm smarter than this. But living in the day-to-day, you got to do a couple things just to keep those lights on. But as soon as you can, prioritize the financials. What it will give you as far as an edge in how you operate your business and being able to look at, wait a minute, my labor cost is up significantly versus what I'm making in my revenues. How am I looking at EBITDA? How am I looking at my prime cost day to day? You know the terminologies, you know the things that impact your business. And honestly, we spend probably so much time on marketing, which is critically important, but it's also the fun part a lot of times. When you got to get you got to get in bed with some of the stuff that's not as sexy and say like, yo, I know my numbers. And that is a very sexy topic when you can get on that, when you handle it under control.
Now we're also celebrating an anniversary.
Yes.
Shout out to Tony. That song Anniversary made the top 50 greatest R&B songs of all time on their list that they just put out. So yes, that's also a reason to celebrate, because to me it's already a success just because we've made it this far. We know the statistics. People know divorce statistics and business fail statistics. I mean, come on. Even though when you think about those that make it, they're there as well. But as we are now going into 6 years of the brand Coffee Uplifts People, I still remember the day I literally came out the shower and was like, I got the name, and then went downstairs and sculpted this thing and hit you up and really got it. The first original name wasn't even Coffee Uplifts People. It was Coffee Unites People. But somebody had that or something.
It was, somebody did have it, but then it was like, we got to Coffee Uplifts, and it just mattered so much more. It was much more significant. So, and here we are 6 years later, and it's like so much has gone. This brand is like, I don't even have the tattoo, but I feel like I wear it every day.
Are you gonna get one?
No, I don't do no tattoos to the body.
I feel like that might take us to the next level.
I might as well, like, I got my wife involved in the business. Oh, come on now.
I think get on your neck.
Nah.
Yes, that's right. So Chef Jen is your wife.
Chef Jen is the wife, and she's the head roaster. She's head roaster, head of product. You know, have my daughter who's been die-hard soldier every day in this business. You know, like
Wait, you make your daughter work?
Listen, she know inventory. She's 4 years old and she know the inventory of the game. She knows where the shops are at and all that. And then not to mention the little one on the way. I'm on standby right now.
Literally, like today.
Like it could be any hour right now. So it's like
I know. I still had to pull you in for an interview real fast. But.
Hey, we gotta get it. Let's get it while it's hot.
But what is that dynamic like? Also bringing your wife into the business, because another thing that you did. Is you also had a business that you were part of, and you actually stepped away from that business to focus full-time on this.
Yeah.
So for people who have another full-time job that they're doing, and they have something passionate that they're pursuing on the side, when do you know it's time to go all in?
Well, a lot of it is first the financial conversation. You got to have the financial conversation because the financial is going to really determine a lot. The one thing I did differently with this, like my past business had partners in it. Other business, I was self-employed. Prior to that, I was doing my day job and then come home, work at night. So entrepreneurship isn't just one thing. I've had the different ones. I've had ones that amounted to nothing but a lot of financial loss, but a lot of learnings that I'm still using to this day. And I wouldn't trade it for anything, but I took some lumps on that.
Yep. But I would say entrepreneurship, when it doesn't work out financially like you want, just look at it like you paid for school.
Yeah. And it's lonely. It's lonely, but you're never alone. You're never alone, but it's so lonely because of the feelings, and you have to project all these composure while you're putting out fires left and right. But speaking to that part about as far as with the working with my wife and all those elements, one of the things that I did differently that I'm so happy and I would encourage more entrepreneurs to do, determine what's off the table. Determine what's off the table. We speak so much about, you got to go so hard for the business, which is facts. When you can say, hey, hold on, I'm willing to put all of this, but this is off the table and this is off the table. Because entrepreneurship will come for everything. Yeah. It's a fire. And if you don't tell it, hey, my wife is off the table, my children are off the table, I learned the hard way, my health has to come off the table. All right? That was 2 years and it's almost 3 years now. And it's like that was pure because I didn't take care of myself. Right. That's an important conversation for entrepreneurs too. Sometimes you literally can make yourself sick running a business. 100%. And when I say didn't take care of myself, I'm not talking about I'm out here like doing crazy stuff. Like I don't drink. Well, we have a couple of drinks at our bar sometimes. Angela, you make me drink. That's the only time I drink. That, that's not true. I done came in there and seen you sipping some gin. Listen, I'm tasting. Okay, see, all right, go ahead. Don't do that. Nah, but that said, no, for real, it's like it was stress, it was anxiety, it was lack of sleep. As a original member of Team No Sleep, I've retired. It's not relevant. As in, you worked for Diddy. That part too, but you wilding right now. Well, he started the whole Team No Sleep. And you know what? Facts. And he did and work for Sean John. And learned a lot there. So you listen. I use those lessons every day. Stop it, Angela. Where you going? Chill. Nah, but that said, the constant need to push, but you operating on 4 hours of sleep. Right. Push, but you don't eat all day. There's also a time window you can do that in. I'm in my mid-40s right now. This ain't the window to be doing that. Right. I got a 4-year-old right now with a 1 on the way. This ain't the time to be doing that. And they don't care about the fact that I chose entrepreneurship. They want daddy. Yeah. And you literally ended up in the hospital. I did. TIA stroke. All right. Came out the blue. Literally, my left arm was feeling like gone. And it happened for 2 days in a row. And then I told my wife, and I'm like, listen, I don't want to cause no concern, but like, yo, this is what's going on. We have a very good doctor. Went to the doctor, and he's like, look at me. And he's like, you need to go to the hospital right now. Do not pass go. Your eye right now is drooping. Checked me in. 3 days later, they took excellent care of me, did every test in the book on me. And I was cleared. But then I remember the doctor told me before I left out, he was like, listen, your vitals are excellent. Got to work on your cholesterol some. But he was like, what's your stress levels like? And Angie, I pretty much broke. I was like, it was all those factors going on. And mind you, I bought a lot of that on myself, starting a business, getting married, having children, all at one time. And wouldn't necessarily change it, but would change how I went about managing that, including the conversations with myself about how do I want to manage that.
All right. And and speaking of the stress, it is tough having a business right now. I think tougher than it's ever been.
Yeah.
I would say. We're from Brooklyn. Well, me more than you.
Come on,
but
don't do
we
that.
see a lot of businesses that
Don't do that.
he moved to Jersey. We see a lot of businesses that have been closing, some of our favorite places.
Yeah.
And, we know that it's been really, really tough. And so where do you see Cup moving as we're going forward? And what would you say are the things that we need? Because, again, this is all self-funded, but I'm also trying to figure out, as I'm always having people up here that are entrepreneurs and I'm like trying to support other people's businesses, I was like, it's time for me to support my own business.
Yes.
And I do that, but I feel like not on this platform necessarily.
And the thing about it is, and people don't necessarily, I don't want to speak to that a little bit, because there is a world that exists where people slap their face on products and say, I own a business. That don't apply with you. You don't do what I do, but you do what you do and what we've signed up for, and that's what matters. That's what a partnership is about. So when you talk about a lot of our new business development, a lot of that is you doing the heavy lifting. A lot of that is you bringing a lot of the press and publicity and recognition to the brand. So I just want to shout that, because there are people that's like, boom, slap the face on it, slap a name in a platform, and it's like, you're an entrepreneur. Nah, that's disrespect to the actual craft of being an entrepreneur. And I have to say that because there are a lot of entrepreneurs right now that they going through it right now.
Right.
It's
hard.
hard
It's a tough
right
time.
now. So when you talk about the future for us, we've pivoted and we've grown and evolved, but it's looking clearer and clearer that our biggest opportunity are being able to, one, continue to roast our own product towards getting our own roastery. We already roast our own product, but supplying that to more and more partners. We want to close the gap globally, so we're doing better relationships for our partners globally, so farmers and whatnot, because there are things like fair trade, of which we are, and Rainforest Alliance and Smithsonian Bird Friendly. We have the certification.
For people that don't know what fair trade, because when you look at the coffee, some of them will say fair trade on there, and we should all be looking for that when we're purchasing coffee. What is fair trade?
So fair trade advocates for farmers to get better wages on what they're supplying.
Because one of the big problems in the coffee industry is the farmers being underpaid.
Absolutely.
Like astronomically underpaid, and child labor.
And going back to my earlier point, these are all coming from regions of people of color. So we have a lot of stuff going on here, but we're connected globally, and the decisions we make impact that. I will also say, as much as I like what fair trade has done, that's just one layer.
Yeah.
That's just one layer.
We need to do more.
We need to do more. And that, when you talk about the future of Cup, oh yeah, we want to do more, because it's our culture, because it's women, because it's Black and brown countries across the globe that are producing this product. How do we make it more equitable for all of us in the second largest commodity? So again, that's a major point for us as far as supplying more via our roasting channels. Considering franchising opportunities for that. When it comes to our own store-owned spaces, I like to look at it from a standpoint of...
We're in the Africa Center in Harlem.
Yes.
And we're in Brooklyn and Bed-Stuy.
For sure. I remember growing up and hearing something where it's like, gentrification starts with Starbucks or said coffee shop and ends with a premium grocery, all right? And when you look
that we're in. Go ahead.
When you look at the real story, when you look at how gentrification affects the U.S., a lot of times it's exactly that. Once you start seeing the coffee shops come into the community, it's like, oh, there goes the neighborhood. And then when you see the premium grocery store, it's like, oh, wow, the whole neighborhood's changed. So when it comes from the cafe side specifically, I want us to be very selective about what regions we go into, especially looking at gentrifying communities, so that when we come into your neighborhood, it's not there goes the neighborhood. It's like, oh, we're good. They're going to make sure we preserve the things that this culture and this energy of this neighborhood are about. They're going to hire from the neighborhood. You're going to hear vibes and music of the neighborhood. You're going to hear energy and receptiveness to small businesses when we do pop-up lift to local businesses.
Oh, don't worry. I'm about to talk about that.
Yes, please do. Please do. You know, because you play a major part in that. But when you look at what it looks like for us to grow, those are the three things. Making sure we control our destiny as far as supplying our product, roasting our own product through our roastery and supplying that to people all over the world.
So anybody who has an office right now that can order beans, we would love to supply your office, your restaurant, your business, enterprise, whatever it is with the beans. We are open. We got unlimited supplies of whatever you need, and we be on point, okay? Because that's the other thing I want to say. Everything that we do, we are delivering on time, on point. I remember when we ended up going into Big Dave's Cheesesteak, and what that conversation was like. Literally called us Thursday. The next week, we were ready to go.
Ready to go. Ready to go. So it's like, and even that's like sometimes you have businesses that they're not ready for growth. They may get into a grocery store. Guess what? Grocery store wipe you out real quick.
I've heard people say that.
Grocery store wipe you out real quick if you're not ready for it. So it's like you also have to measure, you know, what growth can you take on realistically. And it's called, do you have the bandwidth? Do you have the capacity? Because what you don't want to do is get in there and then you can't deliver, and now you have ruined something that could have been a real growth opportunity for you. All right. So, you know, those are the kind of things we look at. But we're looking to supply more businesses. We want to make impact from an economic imprint, are part of our values for the business, being much more dialed into that. And let's call a spade a spade. There are a lot of people who don't really care about the values of a brand. All right. They just say, is your product good? Okay, cool. Our product is great. And it happens to be very much check the boxes on a lot of things that you may or may not care about, but we care about them. And globally, a lot of people do care about those things. And then the last thing is being very discerning about where we pick and choose to grow with, understanding the weight and gravity of what it means when Cup comes into a community near you.
All right. And I do want to say, to your point earlier, every Thursday, starting on the 13th, John Laster and I, John has been up here before, guest hosting. He's a comedian. He has an app called Blap, where he highlights all of the Black-owned businesses in any given area. And so we're going to be doing pop-up lifts, which are our pop-ups, with some of these small businesses on site at the shop. We'll be promoting those businesses, and you'll be able to buy, purchase on site. We've done them in the past. So now we just want to make it a routine for Thursdays with pop-up lift featured, powered by Blap. We also do comedy at Cup.
We do comedy.
We also have DJ Dangles on Friday nights.
Every Friday night. That's Unplugged Fridays. Dangles brings the energy, including tonight, which is on 1 year anniversary. Yeah. So you have a 1 year anniversary on that. Come right around now. You know, there's a lot of good energy, and it's funny thing about shout out to Blap, but it's like it's right now. There's this whole conversation going on around like, hey, you know, does Black-owned business mean anything? Yeah. Right?
Or should we say Black-owned?
Or should we say Black-owned? And that's such an interesting angle because, you know, with our space, we are proudly Black-owned and woman-owned, but we don't go around saying Black-owned, 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 Black-owned. We don't run from it. Like I say, I'm Tommy Smith, but you don't see the fist in the air out there. A lot of times you got to move tactically, and I do believe there's a space where we do have to be proudly Black-owned. But that's not what you're selling. What you're selling is great quality. However, I do think in this conversation that's going on, we can't leave out the fact, the importance and significance that people take in pride and should be pride of it being a Black-owned product, no different than every other culture can put their name on it as well.
And can we start the Run Club again, or what are we doing? Okay, we're going to start the Run Club.
You said we. I like to say you start the
Run Club. No, we talk about health. You can walk.
I'm definitely more of a walker now. I'll walk it in for miles.
We had you running for a minute, Tony. We had you running for a minute.
My knees.
We also got to talk about this book club relaunching.
Yeah,
but there's so many amazing things. If anybody is interested in hosting an event, you know, we're open for that and very involved. And lastly, you can go ahead and shout out your HBCU and your frat, because I know you went to.
Well, if you're going to put it like that, you'll never have to tell me twice. Shout out to Tennessee State University, doing great things right there, down there. The president down there, they have their new CFO down there, April Robinson, that's doing excellent work down there. And to my brothers and men of Kappa Alpha Psi, shout out to you. Love.
He had to do
keep
it.
doing what we do. Doing it better than the rest of them.
I was in Nashville. People were coming up to me like, "Hey, you're in business with my guy Tony. That's your business partner." I was like, "Tony, all these Kappas keep coming up to me."
Hey, listen, we everywhere in high places. Come on now.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much for coming. I know we haven't done this, but we are celebrating our anniversary. Angela Yee Day is coming up August 23rd. So I'm trying to plan a lot more activations. But I just wanted to make sure that people know the full story, because a lot of times people will be like, "Oh, I didn't know you did that," or "I didn't know you guys had a bar," or "I didn't know you guys can supply us with coffee."
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, I have this platform. I try to uplift other people. I need to make sure that I'm also talking about what I'm doing. I think sometimes I try to separate those two, but what I do is very intertwined with who I am as a radio personality and as somebody who can relate to other entrepreneurs, because I know how hard it is.
Yeah, and let's be clear, we supply some of the best, some of the most known businesses. Tatiana's right here in New York.
One of my favorites. Hey, Chef Kwame.
Blue Hospitality Group. Toast on Lennox. Shout out to Toast on Lennox, doing great things down in Atlanta, right? So just a whole bunch of good energy that we are pushing behind the bean. One bean at a time, we changing things.
Okay, one bean at a time. I see it. All right, well, Tony Forte, check him out. And again, coffee uplifts people. You can go look at the website if you have any questions. Test it out, because if you're a real coffee drinker, you're going to love it. What we got here? The Ethiopian today.
It's the Ethiopian.
It's our biggest seller.
Yes, this is our single origin Ethiopia. We do more beans of Ethiopia than any other single origin.
Where coffee was started, by the way.
Exactly, where coffee was started. Now, I'll be remiss if I don't get this one point in, all right? And especially because, once again, the Caribbean blood in me. In 2022, not only we started Tea by Cup. All right. So we also do teas as well. So for all the people listening, it's like, yo, I don't drink coffee like that. I only drink tea. We still got you. We got Tea by Cup, and we do our own blends. All right. So if you like chamomile, try Endless Summer, chamomile, lemongrass, spearmint, peppermint. We have the red rooibos from South Africa. That's Strong Life Journey.
The Yee tea, of course.
The Yee tea. Come on now. The Yee tea.
The most complex tea of them all.
Come on now. There you go. That's for a reason. So we have some great teas and probably the best matcha, the no match matcha. So we are about this life, and come check us out. Shout out to my partner, Angela Yee. We are 6 years in this thing as a brand, and this is only the beginning. We got so much more runway on this. Look out, y'all. Come join the ride.